the politics of the stomach. But I will begin once we have at least 2 subscribers online, so that we can get to discuss, because I want it to be an interactive discussion. Of course, in countries like Nigeria, politicians have been using some incentives to woo electorates to support them in an electioneering period. For example, in the year 2015, there was that politician who was promising people rice and chicken at the expense of development. In Benin, we find those politicians who switch from one political party to another in a process known as transhumance. Just a term used in pastoralism. In Ghana, those supporting, for example, a given president from a different political party of parliament are called skirt and blouse. That is the interchange, the clothes. In Kenya, before an election takes place, we have those communities that participate in negotiated democracy. Viewers, do we say that these individuals are genuine? What is your take on these various types of democracy? So, as I will be waiting for viewers, those are the specific issues that I will want us to deal with. The politics of the stomach. And just as I can see, I now have one viewer. Our topic today is on politics of the stomach, and I have highlighted that in countries like Nigeria, for example, in the year 2005, there was that politician who was promising people rice and chicken, so that they can vote him in. And this particular politician was voted in that given promise at the expense of development. In Benin, you will find politicians supporting a leader from a different party or moving from one party to another. A process known as transhumance, just similar to what we say nomadism, whereby people don't have those political parties. In Ghana, you will also find individuals supporting, for example, a president from a different party, or supporting a member of a parliament from a different party. Something that is known as a skirt and applause. In Kenya, for example, we have negotiated democracy, largely found in northeastern parts, but was borrowed to other parts of the Republic of Kenya. If, for example, I can ask one question, why do you think there is this kind of behavior by politicians, whereby politicians do not specifically stick to their parties? The politics of the stomach or politics of the very uh, are symbolic to countries in Africa, more especially after gaining independence. It's actually, you can say it is synonymous with corruption. If, for example, in Kenya, you go to areas or you go to some religions, you will find that in those denominations, there is individuals, say church elders, who are fully in politics with an aim of benefiting. Surely, how will it be that, for example, in an electioneering period, every politician comes to your church and you pray to him, to God, to support him so that he wins that specific election? Who is God? Who is God going to support in order to win that election? Kindly, you are free to chat because it's an interactive. Maybe you can tell me what you, as our viewer, feels about this issue of uh, politics of stomach. If I go back to the Platonic government, that is the time of Plato, or during the time of political thought, you will find that we had, or Plato classified individuals into three. There are those of head, chest, and stomach. Those of head are those individuals who use their knowledge or who can use their knowledge effectively to ensure that there is that economic growth in a given nation or state. While those of chest are those who use force in leadership to achieve certain goals, while those of stomach are those individuals. Those of stomach are those individuals who use their positions to benefit themselves. So as I wait for viewers, because today I want it to be an interactive session, I will just to continue explaining what we mean by uh, politics of the stomach, politics of the stomach. This is a situation whereby a person is given, I'm explaining what we mean by politics of the stomach. A person is given leadership responsibilities, and much of the work he does to satisfy his individual needs, unlike working to satisfy the individual of the people in the society. In Kenya, for example, people are elected to different positions. It can be in a cooperative society. Instead of those people going to promote the welfare of the members, they simply go there and start corrupt things, start squandering the money of the public. Such a people are influenced by favorism. One can also say that in Kenya, much of the offices have been dominated by the acts of the stomach. People put the stomach to think much of their stomach than promoting the welfare of the society. There is one book written by John Ithiongo, which is on titled that Our Turn to Eat. In Kenya, for example, people or individuals will be happy when they have that opportunity to be in positions so that they can utilize their time to satisfy their specific needs. John Githiongo has shown how ethnicity influences resource distribution in the Republic of Kenya. Sentiments that have also been echoed by Koigi wa Wamwere. Therefore, one can argue that in Kenya, the politics of the stomach has dominated in the people's life sphere, in every aspect of life, in every aspect of institution. The politics of the stomach has dominated. Because if you go, for example, to any public office or most public offices, you will, for example, spend hours and hours seated on the bench waiting to be attended. And probably that person who may be attended is a relative to an officer in that public office. That's what we call the politics of the stomach. In addition, you are likely to have same qualifications to your friends, and there is an opportunity. Maybe you have even better qualifications, or you have same qualifications but with experience than your friends. But you will find that your friend who is more fresher than the entire group that was on the panel, has been given an opportunity in that. That's what we call the politics of the stomach. And also, you will find, for example, we have this CDF fund, Constituency Development Fund, whereby the members of parliament have chosen their cronies to allocate the resources. What will happen here is that you will find some of these members of parliament serving specific individuals or favoring specific individuals. Their committees also do the same. That is what we call the politics of the stomach. In addition, if you go to counties, you will find that governors have employed individuals. Governors have employed individuals who are in most cases involved or were involved in his campaign, who are his family members, and sometimes those who also get employment in the governor's office have, to some extent, bribed the officers who do the exercise of employment. That is the human resource department. That is what we also call the politics of the stomach. If you go to specific offices, you are also likely to find that if the head is a Kisi, a Kikuyu, a Maasai, then a good number of the employees that will come with him are from his ethnic background. That is also what we call the politics of the stomach, which is very rampant in Kenya. And this type or kind of politics has existed since 1963, whereby once you are in an office, you simply look at those people who come from your kinship, those people who bribe you, and those individuals who give you some favors. That is the politics of the stomach. Go to our road department. You will find that instead of the officers following the rules and regulations so as to ensure that there is safety of travelers all over the Republic of Kenya, you will find them taking some small tea at the expense of the lives of the people. You will find that there is unworthy vehicles on the road, there is increased accidents, and someone has just taken 50 shillings and cost people's life. That's what we call the politics of the stomachs. Viewers, kindly, if you have something that you wish to comment on this topic of the politics of the stomach, you can always comment. You can always ask a question, because when one is streaming on live, it means he wants to get your reaction, questions, and answer. Kindly, if you have a question, just drop on the chat section what you understand by the politics of the stomach. Have you ever been discriminated in any situation? Have you ever sat with your friends in a bench because they speak a given language, they are given an opportunity? With all your qualifications, you are left out. Just drop a comment, but don't mention who. Just say, this is what happened to me. For my case, when I was doing my master's research at Kibra constituency, some of the youth told me that it is better this person who is in this position of leadership, who is a governor, because he shares some proceeds of corruption with us than these others. That this one, because he shares some proceeds of corruption with us, this person is a good person. That was Kibera constituency some 5 years ago when I was doing my research. That because this person, he shares with us, even if this person can be a drug, even if he can do any evil thing, this person shares with us what he gets. So the wrong person is that person who steals public funds and does not share with people. How do you take this person who brings money to the constituents for bursaries and gives some individuals up to 20,000 or even 60,000, while others get 2,000, others denied because they were never supporters? That is what we call the politics of the stomach, which should not be entertained. If, for example, you go or there is an advertisement for permanent positions in a given institution, and you find that all of those people who are seated in a bench were not given an opportunity. Instead, a person who is working in the opportunity or in the position that you were lined up, that you traveled long distances to do an interview, is that person who was not in an interview. That is simply what we call politics of the stomach. Someone getting into an interview, not getting into an interview, 10 people seated in an interview, but they are not given that job opportunity. They were seated there to justify for a ghost who is given that opportunity and even never sat for that interview. That is what we call the politics of the stomach. And also, we have other issues in counties. You'll find that 70% of the employees in a given county should be from the natives. And then about 30% can come from any other county, from any other part of the Republic of Kenya. But you find that those positions in the government, of the county, that have to be allocated or have to be divided within the constituencies in the county, that constituency that was deemed to be opposition to the governor will have 99.9% of those who get the positions from the outside community. That means that they want to discipline they want to discipline that community because they never voted for them. Instead of balancing this other 30% along the entire county, they just put, those allocations that are supposed to be to natives are given elsewhere so that they bring new people, only new people whom not even those people from that community who reside in your constituency. No, from elsewhere, so that you feel the pain. That's what we call the politics of the stomach, which is very rampant in Kenya. And also, politics of the stomach can be seen when there is too much roping of positions by government officials. You find that maybe the head of state has got some positions which he wants to distribute equitably or tries to distribute in an equal manner to the rest of the republic. But you'll find some brokers, some individuals who want some favors from specific politicians will come in state house because of their close proximity to the head of state and ensure that these other groups do not benefit from those positions. That is what we call the politics of the stomach. In addition, others will tend to favor individuals from their ethnic background, from their family, even when they have been found in corrupt malpractices. In corrupt malpractices. Actually, that is what we also call the politics of the stomach. Someone has taken public funds, not even as stolen, in a corrupt manner, but you stick as a community to defend that person who has ruined lives of so many individuals. That is what we call the politics of the stomach, which is very common in developing countries. I can see there is some comments which I need to look at. The first comment, let me go through it. Uh-huh. Let me go through it. Uh-huh. Uh, okay. Duncan Odhiambo says that the majority who joined Kenya Kwanza government were very opportunistic I think that according to Duncan, who is asking me to give my comments on the same, uh, is referring to the individuals as participating in the politics of the stomach. That is true. Uh, when you do something with a specific aim of benefiting your own self, is what is referred to as the politics of the stomach. I think, Danigan, you have heard it. Those individuals have or have participated, have fully focused on their stomach. That is what we refer to as, for your comment, what we refer as politics of stomach. And earlier on, I did indicate that uh, this politics of stomach is not just in Kenya. It has a widespread in Africa, Latin America, and Asia. This politics of stomach is much practiced in these developing countries. A situation whereby corruption is included at the initial budgeting. That means when governments or various ministries are making their budgets, they include what they want to achieve from that budget. That is what we call the politics of the stomach. Just when, for example, a budget is prepared and it does not achieve its objectives because the money was put in individual pockets, is also referred to as the politics of the stomach. Money that was meant to do given functions, projects, money that has been released by exchequers, central bank, or the Ministry of Finance, but still has not performed the required functions, and the money cannot be traced. It's also referred to as the politics of the stomach. You can still continue putting your comments on the comment section, so that, or your questions, so that we can engage. Normally, when I get to live stream, my major aim is to engage with the viewers. And today, our topic was on the politics of the stomach, which has greatly dominated uh, our African countries, where Kenya is included, our counties, our constituencies, our locations, and even our wards, whereby someone considers his needs much than he is supposed to do. I said earlier on that we have those individuals who support corruption, that because they are also benefiting from the same person who is involved in the acts of corruption. While we have those who are totally individuals who are totally against corruption. You see, you cannot talk of the politics of stomach if you cannot focus on corruption. Earlier on, I had said, or I had given that example of Kibera, whereby young people told me that so long as this person, this person takes money in an unlawful way and gives to us, it is better. That so long as you steal the money from the public, but you give to some groups, they will see that you are not participating in corruption or in corrupt. But when you take the public money and use it alone, then you are involved in corruption. But of course, both that person who brings money so that you can use it together, money that does not belong to him, which belongs to the public, it's just as if like that person who steals money and brings so that you eat together, because it is you and him who are seated, but there are some functions that were meant for that specific amount of money. So whether that person who steals public money gives to you or does not give to you, both of them are ruining the economy, and they are participating in what we call the politics of the stomach. And actually, how can you deal with individuals who are involved in the politics of the stomach? No, politics of the stomach. So, when, for example, somebody gives you a tender to do, is paid by the government to pay you, is called as the money. And then you continue waiting for 4 to 5 years for the same amount. When you go forward, the money was released. But where the money went in between here, you cannot explain. Maybe you'll be told it was paid other different activities at your expense. Probably that explains why in government tenders there's that exaggeration of prices. A small book that is costing notebook that is costing 50 shillings can be sold at 300 shillings, with an assumption that this person may take even 3 years to pay me this small item. They call them pending bills from them. They just call them pending bills. That is politics of the stomach. You are given a tender of 20 million, for example. Immediately you start the tender, you are told to give back 13 million so that your money can be released on time. But if you cannot do that, you will be waiting for your payments for years and years and years. That is what we call the politics of the stomach. Waiting for 4 years, 5 years, seven, even some even die before getting their money of what they supplied to various government institutions. And not because the government did not remit the amount, but because of an individual who took an initiative of using the money in a corrupt way. That is also what we call the politics of the stomach. Maybe you can write for me instances that you have seen individuals participate in this, that politics. I mean, that is the politics of the stomach. You can write on the wall, you can comment there so that I can read. You can ask a question. So long as you don't even mention someone is okay. But you can say what they have done. You can say, maybe if you are a student, you were given, others were given maybe CDF bursary, you were discriminated maybe because you don't belong to the same clan or you didn't support them in the previous election. And just right there. In addition, politics of the stomach is further shown whereby individuals who are supposed to represent you, taking an example of the recent finance bill in the Kenyan parliament, whereby citizens did request their members of parliament not to vote for the finance bill, but they went ahead and did that or the same. That is what we refer to the politics of the stomach. I mean, you are doing something so that you can only satisfy you and yourself, not other people. Your major aim is to satisfy you and yourself. But bearing in mind that you are in that position so that you can serve the entire society. That is what we call the politics of the stomach. Sometimes I tend to see that when, for example, our members of parliament are supposed to check the executive, but because maybe they receive some favors or they are been promised that the CDF will increase, and then they do against the wishes of the many Kenyans. That one is also known as the politics of the stomach or the belly, because those people are self-driven. They want to see their stomach full, not just full, but they want to see that those whom they represent get totally nothing. If you have something again that you wish to put on our comment session, just put it in relation to this politics of the belly, politics of the stomach, whereby we have our representatives whose main aim is to satisfy their stomachs. There are men everywhere. Actually, it will be wrong if you focus on one particular individual. These people who do participate on the politics of the belly are even in our groups, warfare groups. You contribute, you want to buy a pass for your youth group. You want to buy a pass for your community, maybe from Mombasa, that can be taking maybe the deceased from Mombasa to Kisumu, and then one person runs away with the amount. That is politics of the berry. Politics of the berry in Africa, it has dominated since most countries in Africa attained their independence. For example, in Kenya, when Jomo Kenyatta took independence, he started recruiting people from his community to those particular positions. When Moi took over, he did the same. It's not wrong to recruit people of your community, but over recruiting. Politics of the party will also affect leaders. And a person will even want to have a bank, this bank in his home, somewhere that money for the community is put, that bank is in his home. When a leader wants to own everything that surrounds you, your children's, neighbors, and everything, go to the ministries of lands everywhere. A good example is Nyamira. You'll be shocked that issues of brand are very rampant. Don't understand whether it is because there is a scarcity of land. You will find that a piece of land is sold more than 4 times, and there is an officer in a given office who does approve that, right from the committees to the district lands board. That is what we call the politics of the stomach. And we have chiefs, for example, we have assistant chiefs. You'll find some of these chiefs participate in signing for the sale of lands, pieces of land. They know very well that this piece of land was bought, but they still participate in signing for another person. That is what we call the politics of the stomach. Duncan Odhiambo is asking, what about the coming Thursday CS vetting of people that we know do not qualify? The MPs already know the process will unfold. Okay, if Duncan, the MPs do pass unqualified individuals to the next process, it will mean that the services to the people might not be quality, because you see, if these MPs know that this person is qualified and they still go ahead and endorse him, there's nothing we can call, there's no any other better word we can call this person than him or she participating in the politics of the stomach, because there are some benefits he is getting by overlooking what is right to the public. And so I can see Duncan talking of RAND evaluation and corruption, which I said, if you want to know about issues of RAND, just cross to Nyamira and try to buy one. You'll already find that probably it has a dispute. And this issue of RAND, if, for example, say in Kirinyaga County or Nyamira County, we have issues of RAND, and no one is taking a firm action to ensure that the issue of RAND has been solved, then those individuals are participating in the politics of the stomach, because there is that benefit. There is that benefit that is moving from maybe down going upwards, or maybe when they have been reported, they go with the proceeds of corruption and bribe there, so that you will be kept dragged. I hope this bill that the president said that will take 6 months to deal with issues of corruption will do some justice. Just see if a presidential election petition can take only 2 weeks to be determined, 2 weeks to be determined, how can a case of a piece of land with the written agreements take 5, 10 years to be determined? How can a case of corruption, whereby everyone can see this person stole this money, take 5 years? So I think the bill should be supported, and actually it should be the first one to be taken to parliament for passing even before the vetting of the cabinet secretaries. So that once they get to the office, they will find the bill is there to protect the people's uh, aspirations. So the issues of land evaluation also. Now we have those who speculate that uh, if this road, for example, is passing by Maimayu, and the government wants to construct or is constructing SGR to Kisumu or to any other place, they will exaggerate the prices so that the government can pay every. What normally happens, you find the individual of the piece of land will give a given price. And from there, the government officers go ahead and exaggerate more further, so that the ones who are suffering the most are the members of the public. Members of the public get to suffering the most because they pay taxes. And every exaggeration is meant to be paid by the members of the public. If a piece of land is to be bought, 200,000, for example, a small plot like this, and then the government is sold for 300,000, then the government exaggerates, or those who are refunding the individuals exaggerate and they pay 600,000. Who is, because it is the government refunding to the individuals, who is going to suffer? It is the taxpayers. So that one is also the politics of the stomach. And I see it's not only in Kenya. In Nigeria, for example, the year 2015, a politician was promising. In the year 2015, a politician was promising electorates, rice and chicken, so that they can support him, and they supported him. This one is happening like the year 2022 in Kenya. Most of those who are in the electoral position, most of them must have given something. It has not been a joke. You must give something so that you are elected into an electoral position. That is politics of the stomach. Even individuals, even the public also do get involved in the politics of the stomach. Individuals, that is, we talk of the people in the society, whereby they force the electorates that they do not support them if the electorates will not give them something to eat. And at the end of the day, they end up recruiting wrong people into electoral position. So the issue of politics of the stomach sometimes affects even we as citizens. I know of some areas whereby if you can not, or if you don't have something to give citizens during the campaigns, you better not stand there to speak with them, because you will speak, some of them will be shouting, give us something fast before you speak. So if you don't have something to give them, it will be very terrible for you to stand before those individuals. Just continue putting comments on our comment session, comments, questions, yeah, so that we can look at them. So if you don't have money, it will be very awkward of you speaking before those individuals, because at the end of the day, at the end of your speech, they will abuse you. That's why even today, you will find some governors, some members of parliament, they will tend to give a whole crowd probably that has attended his function, not those town hall meetings, but a function, an open, so we can call it an open air market, and this uh, public or these masses are given some money. That is what we call the politics of the stomach. How can you give more than 5,000 people in a market? What is your aim? That's what we also call as investment. Corruption. You are investing not because you love to give something to those, but because you want those people to support you in the near future. You want those people to support you in the near future. You are not giving them money because they are in need. You go to church, you give them a contribution, not just because you want to support the church, because it is an investment corruption. You are investing in corruption so that these Christians can see you as a brother to Christ. They will ask between themselves, then who else is a brother to Jesus if not this person who came here and gave us this money? And that money probably is from the proceeds of corruption. It is the money that probably that young person or that old person, man or a woman, should have given to maybe your church choir in plenty to do a given construction somewhere and have clean money. But someone spoils a construction that was supposed to take place and brings that money as a form of contribution. That is what we refer to as the politics of the stomach. I think for the next 2 weeks I will be doing online or live streaming, so that at least we can engage one-on-one with our subscribers. I think if you have any question, you can drop it before we call it a day or a night. So today, majorly, we wanted to look at some of the things that have affected our republic, our nation, our continent, and we are actually seeing some of the issues are not limited to Kenya. They are also elsewhere. We have seen in Nigeria. I also talked of Ghana and Benin. In Ghana, I said, we just like Kenya, you'll find someone is in this political party, but he's supporting another person from a different, maybe you are in UDA, you are an ODM candidate for a given position. In Ghana, they call it a skirt and a blouse, whereby you don't support a specific individual. While in Benin, we have those political nomads, those people who switch from one political party to another, that is transmits, just like as it is done in those communities or pastoral communities. A person is switching from one political party to another without any shame. This is all driven by the politics of stomach. These people have been paid to do so. And in Nigeria, we see it. 2015, an electorate was being promised chicken and rice, and they did vote for a given candidate. That is in Nigeria. In Kenya, they have adopted what we call negotiated democracy, whereby if you all wanted to participate in an election, some of you are a vote. So that because you are about 15 people who are eyeing a given specific position, you'll find that that person who has a lot of money has even purchased those other people. So he remains to be the only person in that position. That's what we call the politics of the stomach. I can see Odhiambo Danigan asking, is politics of the stomach an art or a science? Kindly comment. Earlier on, I said the issue of the politics of the stomach, the head, and the chest have been documented as areas by the political thinkers like Plato. Plato did argue that in a given institution or a state, those people who should be rulers should be individuals with the highest level of education. Like now in Kenya, if Plato was around, Kenya is okay. For him, because he could be looking from the highest level, and the highest level is a PhD. He could be saying, because our president is a PhD man, he could even have said it's okay, he doesn't need to be disturbed so much. He's a man with knowledge. And this man with knowledge, he can have even stupid individuals, because he will always direct them on what to do at various institutions. because at the head is a man with special knowledge. And then he says there is that group, the second group of the chests. This second group of the chest is that group whereby leadership maybe is under the military. According to that man or that political thinker, Plato, he says if a person who is at the presidency is a military man, then because he may use his chest, that's why he's saying the second on his chest, because he may use his chest to do the ruling, then he should be surrounded by several people with knowledge. Those who are at the top, they should surround him, because according to him, this person of the chest cannot rule properly the state. So for him to rule better, he has to be surrounded by civilians. And we have said the second person, if he is of the chest, probably that person comes from the military. And then the third person is that of the stomach. Now, what we have been dealing with, the man of the stomach. This man of the stomach is that person who doesn't care, who much of the resources goes to his pockets. That is the third group. Much of the resources goes to his pocket. That is the man. That is the man of the stomach. So, Odhiambo, I think you can now understand whether the politics of stomach is an art or a science. It has been there. We have been having individuals from time memorial who, wherever they are put in a position, people will just be suffocating. People will be having nothing. I would like to take this opportunity to thank you, my viewers, for your moment, for giving me this opportunity, and for your comments and for your questions, so that you can have a sleep and rest. Thank you. My name's Arimachuka Narieko. Thank you so much.